Vikings Banter, we are out here, the historic Barney's Beanery. Thank God the season's finally started.
I'm like really craving.
I feel like we've had our own little off-season movements happening in the background, but here we go.
Whenever you have a rookie quarterback coming in or an uncertainty at quarterback, the offseason is definitely more exciting. Because you're like, yeah, because before it was like Kirk wasn't going to play in the preseason anyway. So you're like, all right, let's just see what happens when we get to week 1. Now it's like, who the fuck is our quarterback? Who's the backup quarterback? Who's going to play? Who's not going to play? What's our defense going to look like?
Does Sam Darnold play at all during preseason?
Oh, yeah.
He is the 50% of the first half. He is our he's our starter.
No, they said he's going to get extensive playing time. They need
preseason.
Yeah.
Because he needs
first week. Yeah.
Oh, you think Saturday?
They already said it. Extensive work this Saturday against the Raiders.
Sam
Darnold could possibly get a full half, if not at least a quarter.
Sam Darnold has till what I think is a week 6 or week 7 bye that we have.
Yeah.
He has till then to lose the job.
Yeah.
At this point, like everything that seems to be lined up.
Yeah.
I do like what we're doing with JJ right now, where it's like put him on the back burner.
100%.
No risk.
But do we like this, like in terms of risk of like knock on where the fuck is the wood? Preseason game 1, Sam Darnold gets hurt.
I don't give a shit if he gets hurt. He
Really?
is a sacrificial lamb that eventually leads to JJ McCarthy. He's not leading us anywhere. He's not taking us to the playoffs. He's not winning an MVP. He's there to fill a space until the kid is ready to play.
Okay, but then the kid has to play.
No, he still won't play. It'll be Nick Mullins. So right now, word from camp is JJ McCarthy might not be the backup option, which I honestly think is smart because of the risk of Sam Darnold either sucking or getting hurt. You can't just thrust JJ in. So it's like, let's save him by making Nick Mullins the backup.
Okay.
And if something goes wrong, JJ doesn't have to come in.
Okay.
So
we're going into the season with 100%. There will be 3 quarterbacks in Nick Mullins, JJ McCarthy,
Sam
Darnold, and then LJ's favorite, potentially Jaren Hall.
Well, I won when we even were talking about this before the episode was airing here. I'm surprised if we still have him. Even though I am a believer in his ability to be a unbelievable backup quarterback for 10 years, he's never going to get a starting job. That's done.
No, that's over.
He's
starting. Something bad happened.
He's lucky to be like a perennial practice player for the next 2 years.
So
I think he's going to go to the practice
what
squad.
happened
when
he had
year?
to play? Yeah, like
we don't
just
forget.
forgetting about
But it was also
him.
he was a rookie. He had just come back from a missionary.
He just got done soaking. He was exhausted.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had the ash on his head. Did they do that? No, that's not.
No, that's me, bro.
I don't know.
That's the
you
Christians.
do that.
No, the Christians do it.
Isn't that Christian?
Mormons?
Yeah.
It gets debatable.
Okay. And we get religion and politics.
No. Christians. They would say they are Mormon, and it gets debatable.
Do they believe in Jesus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just gets way more. It gets way deeper.
Okay.
Yeah, different podcasts. Come back if you go on. The more the purple banter stuff. Then we kind of talk about that.
We're just setting up your own podcast
Yeah.
where you're going to discuss religion.
This is the thing, though. I think that Sam Darnold, with the opportunity that he's presented with JJ. Specifically, I don't even know where Addison's at this moment, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, he's like.
So Addison will be our wide receiver 1 in the preseason
rehab.
because Justin Jefferson is not going to be playing,
and he shouldn't. Justin Jefferson.
He
shouldn't
touch the field.
No.
Him and Harrison Smith are the only 2 confirmed not playing players on our roster.
I don't even care if JJ goes to the games. To be complete, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like if he's like hanging out with his family, like somewhere else. Like
give him some time off.
He
just got some money. Let him enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just got it. He didn't get the money at the beginning of the off season, so he couldn't fuck around and get too crazy. You know, they gave it to him right before training camp started.
So smart.
Well,
I love that.
Like he doesn't even have time to like sit down with the right tax guy to figure out like what am I really doing?
What do I actually?
So he needs a week or 2 just to like figure the financials.
He doesn't need to hang out with Raiders fans
or hang out with like Jordan Addison.
Keep them separate. So Jordan Addison will be playing. He'll be stepping in as the wide receiver 1. This is exciting. This is like seeing a regular season game for us because we get to see what our offense, sans JJ, I think 1 p.m.
Yeah.
will look like.
This is our. Well, I like when you do have a new quarterback. I like when you have a new system and all these different things, or new players to a system that seems like it should work.
Yeah.
Because you can go, ooh, we've plugged in the right things. This is like our Super Bowl coming in preseason week 1 because it could set up, hopefully, the rest of our next 10 years of happiness as Minnesota Vikings fans.
That's true.
And
also, this is the first time we're going to see the new kickoff rule.
We saw it. Well, for us. Yeah. How we're going to do
it.
But
if your apparently, whole thing about if we're being tricky.
Apparently, a lot of teams are not showing their hand right away because the Bears and Texans played, and nobody did anything tricky. But it turns out Bears and Texans are playing week 2,
right?
So they were like, "Why would we show anything to the team? We're just about we're not going to let you scout us in the preseason."
No.
But I also don't.
Did you watch Hard Knocks?
Of course.
Yeah. That comment was.
Oh yeah. They brought that up in that. Yeah, that was
because they were losing, and the coach's daughter was like, "Well, why would they show?" She was smart.
Yeah. Why would we show what we're gonna do?
Well, they don't know what they're gonna do though. That's what they're actually doing. It's a straight bluff. Nobody knows how to do this yet because you only have the XFL to go off of. It's what? Oddly enough, there's still so much interaction happening with it. There's still gonna be injuries, and it's just gonna continue to prolong this weird thing where I think they're going to try to take the kickoff out completely, which sucks.
I don't like that.
I think this, I don't know. We'll see with the injuries, but it was very interesting to watch. It was the first time I'd seen it take place. The receiving team's line was facing their backs to the rushing team, the kickoff team. Because they can't move until the ball is touched by the receiver. So they literally turn their back to watch, and then the second he touches it, they turn around. Because if they've got their back, they have no idea when the ball is touched.
Can't he just be I caught it?
No, because
or the coach would be fire.
Yeah, it's
how
quicker if you see it and then turn. But it was interesting seeing because only some of them had their backs turned, some didn't. It's going to be...
There's a scheme here.
Because maybe you keep your eye on the other guy on your line who's turned his back, and then when he turns, you turn, there's different ways to do it.
It's like a dance.
No, the guys that have to...
Synchronized
the guys that have to turn their back have proven that they are not that smart. They have no timing.
Yeah.
They don't listen to the coach. They're you know what? Just watch the ball.
But if you're on the kickoff team and you see the guys facing you, you're facing me right now, I can see when the guys touch the ball. I might just fake it and wait half a second, and then you can't move if you've got your eye on me.
Psychological warfare, I would kick people.
Or I'll do one of these.
No, dude.
You're watching me and I do that, and you flinch and you get an offside. Ooh, that's my
fun.
move. That's my move. Yeah, you can't keep your eye on the defender.
It's fun.
Too.
Oh my god,
it's too tricky,
dude. A good.
So what you're saying is we're not going to see JJ on Saturday.
Justin Jefferson, JJ.
Yeah, but
no.
are we going to see JJ?
You might
McCarthy?
see him on the stand, on the sideline.
JJ McCarthy is going to be hopefully
McCarthy's
one of the most seen, right?
Yeah. He's going to get a lot. I mean, depending on how he looks, if he comes out and throws 2 picks, they're going to be let's protect him, sit him back down. But
they should both get a half. Darnold and JJ.
Well, they need to. They're going to play all 4.
They have to play all 4.
Because there's 4 weeks, or is it 3 weeks of preseason now? They
have to.
They're not going to.
Because Nick Mullins might be our quarterback.
That's not real.
I think he'll get the backup job just to protect JJ in case Darnold sucks. Because you can always move a guy up if he's the QB3 on the roster on the depth chart, and they decide they want to start him, that's fine. But if he's QB2 and something happens to Darnold and he doesn't come in, that looks bad.
I think strategically having him at 3 is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it takes away the controversy.
Exactly.
It takes away the pressure. It takes away kind of what you were saying before, hinting that he's even available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then when he is available, you just go week 6 after the bye, we're like, hey, JJ's in.
Yeah.
Well, you also have
promoting JJ to starter.
Nick Mullins, a little bit of an ego.
No, dude, you
you
beat his ego to the ground and you say, we're going to put you in. You are a scab, dude.
Yeah.
You're never going to actually play.
Yeah.
You're going to get to
We're
play
the
one
only team
half.
that gave you a chance. You should be kissing our feet
You
that
need
you're
to
allowed on the roster.
Brutalize. He has to, every time he goes to bed, his wife's like, do you think you get in tomorrow? I was like, babe, I've told you. It's never going to happen.
No, he has to leave her. How dare you ask me such a stupid question?
And then I have to comfort them.
Yeah.
You're all about JJ.
Jonathan.
Yeah, exactly.
Jonathan.
Guessing his names, his fucking wife.
Yeah.
I also like that we're playing the Raiders, who are in a similar position as us, but
Shitty.
they're worse, where they need to start their starters because they don't know who their fucking quarterback is either.
True.
So it's like
This
2
is a
starting
fun
offenses
game.
playing again. Yeah, no, both teams are coming out playing for jobs. I don't think
Yeah.
we'll see Max Crosby, thank God.
No.
But they're also going to be playing a lot of their starters.
Now, the best part about all of this is how quickly we react. And I think it's hilarious in training camp when people are like, dude, JJ McCarthy just threw a spiral to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Unguarded.
Yeah.
And it was
no
like,
pass rush, no helmet.
Perfect. And it's like,
It's-
that's the way it should work. We just paid the receiver hundreds of millions of dollars, and the other guy got a pretty good chunk of change too, and was drafted first round.
Yeah.
Why people get excited about a spiral on air?
It's
Well,
all
I
we
know
get.
why. No, I know why. It's all marketing because it's all the fans that are sitting at training camp, going fucking wild, and then turn around and go to the team store and spend hundreds of dollars.
It's a Kamala Harris move.
Like that's exactly what it is. They're like, it's
Got
like a
it.
highlight reel. You're like, oh my god, we're gonna be good. And we all know that those prices are like triple the prices of something you get online, and so it's really just the NFL's a business. What are we talking
But
about?
the weird thing though is there is so much about momentum that's important in like the psyche of an athlete. So if he gets rolling, it happens all the time where the first round draft pick sometimes falls apart or like just crushes it. And that's where I think Sam Darnold's in an interesting spot because I think he's going to have new momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So I do understand the hype of it, of why you just are like, let's just inject ego into this situation.
Oh, you need it for sure, and you want to hype them up. But it goes the opposite way too, where like Drake May so far hasn't looked good in training camp, and his backup Joe Milton.
But who's saying that?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
Right.
all reports and tweets and beat reporters and all these people, and then fans get it and they're like, "Oh my God, Jake May fucking sucks." And it's like, dude, this guy's had 2 weeks of training camp and not even a preseason. Or no, they just played their preseason game last night.
And does he even know the offense?
No, he doesn't know anything. It's ridiculous. And everyone's like, he's garbage. It's like
Milton
the guy's got
looks
no wide
dope,
receivers.
though.
Milton's amazing.
So there's
and I
something
said in the draft, I wanted to take a risk on him late. They got him in the 6th fucking round. The guy has exact same build and game style as Anthony Richardson, who went into the fucking top 5 picks the year before. I don't know why teams don't just take risks on these guys. It's a 6th round pick. This kid looks fantastic.
He just looks good out there.
Electric.
Yeah.
Flying all over the
Killer.
fucking field. Might have the strongest arm in the NFL. Runs like a gazelle. He's 6'4".
But doesn't he kind
I'll
of
take that.
sucks when he plays, though.
He's horrible.
Got it.
But could he be good? Sure.
Throws a great spiral in practice.
Exactly. I mean, look, we just watched Hard Knocks Bears.
Lots of jerseys,
You know,
sales.
first episode came out.
I don't watch it.
You didn't watch
You know?
it?
Not
Oh,
Bears. I'm not a
so
Bears
good.
guy. You know?
You
Well,
gotta,
shocking.
you
You're
gotta
not a
know
Bears
your
guy.
enemy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotta
maybe
know
I
the
can. Is
enemy.
it's worth it?
I
Oh,
liked
of course. Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed like the quality of the production. Like,
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we were talking about it like off camera, where like the episode came out Tuesday, and then Monday they had footage from
Oh, they have footage from everything.
from literally
Yeah.
24 hours prior. And
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
played their.
Yeah, don't you watch Love Island?
They
That's
played.
easy.
No, I don't actually.
I do.
missed that whole Love Island thing.
It's very.
They
impressive.
do it in real time. Like
What?
the episode drops
24
the next
hour
day, the
and-
next day. So the people get out
And it's
they don't even
filmed.
realize that they created a storm.
They come out and they're famous.
And they didn't know.
No, they have no idea.
Who are
and
these
everybody
editors
knows
and
what
how
they've
do we
done.
hire them?
It's impossible. They're gone. They probably kill them off.
Seriously.
What was it?
It just
Kill
doesn't
them
make any
off.
sense.
Kill
No,
the
what-
editors off.
Oh,
It doesn't make
editor's
any sense how
incredible.
they do
Yeah,
that.
it's Squid Games editing. Like,
You're done.
You're out. No, they're
Well, yeah, they have
very
like an
impressive.
insane side.
I didn't know they're
Um,
doing that with Hard Knocks though. That's cool.
It's cool.
Hard Knocks, and I like seeing DJ Moore get pulled out of practice
Yeah,
to be
to-
signed to
yeah.
sign his big extension.
Yeah.
He's literally in practice. You see Ryan Poles sitting in his glass window above the
Yeah,
field,
it's
and
so
he goes,
funny.
he calls one of the like loser guys on the field and goes, "Hey, tell DJ Moore to come up to my office." DJ Moore comes up, like leaves the field, talking to his boys, leaves the field, goes upstairs, signs $120 million extension. That moment, goes back down to the
Yeah.
field, talking to the boys. He's like, "I just signed." They're like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like you just went upstairs and got $100 million?"
The dramatics that the
Yes.
producers
Yeah.
put in.
Oh, Ryan Poles knew exactly what he was doing.
But like, how amazing! Like, you
It's
just signed
incredible.
$100 million, and you just like go and like you're like, hey, bro.
I wanted him to be like more, but I guess like
No, I
if
like
you're
that
more
better.
exuberant.
Well,
I mean, dude, you just got
imagine
$100
how
million.
long your lawyers actually talk together.
Yeah.
Well, the agents
Until-
were upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you've had this discussion. You're almost exhausted by it, and then you're like, Yeah,
But not
it's
only
just
that-
dramatization of it.
Yeah,
Not
but
only
he-
that, but you're standing around these like undrafted guys that are making like $2,000, and you just signed $100 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But also
like,
you can motivate them and be like, yo, I was not the best player in the country, in the world.
Well, you're like, but
And
I was better than
still
you.
not.
though.
Yeah, oh,
So don't
absolutely.
like, you're not getting
But
this
work
contract.
your ass off. Well, it's like that Bradley Beal. Have you ever seen the Bradley Beal thing?
No.
Where he's talking to all the kids at the camp, and he like gets serious for a minute, and he's like, you guys don't like passing, you don't like playing defense. He goes, you know what happens when you get to the NBA? You got to guard me. And he stares him in the
I
face and he
have
goes,
seen this, yeah.
and you can't fucking guard me. And they're like, oh my God. And he's like, you're not taking my job. You're not taking my paycheck. And you're like,
oh shit.
holy shit. But like, that's the dog
Yeah.
mentality you got to have. You wanna
DJ
make
Moore should
$100
have
million?
went down there and just been like, fuck everybody here.
Yeah, every wide receiver, like, not taking my job. You suck. Fuck you. This is my money. It's fucking, yeah, those guys are
I'm
so
not even
impressive.
practicing today.
But the problem with watching a Hard Knocks to a team that I like just don't like, they make you fall in love with players.
I know.
You
They
empathize
do.
with people.
They
You go like,
do.
dude, you're kind of awesome.
Yeah, I know.
You like,
Dude.
you have good energy,
The
whatever.
fucking-
Canadian kid.
Oh, the Canadian.
See,
you would fall in
Oh,
love
you
with the
would love
Canadian.
it.
See, I'm not gonna do it, dude.
He's wearing, rips off his pants for the rookie hazing show. Rips off his pants. He's wearing
Better be
a
American flag.
Speedo
Yep.
American
Fuck yeah, it
flag
is.
with the
Singing.
fucking eagle while he
Just
sings
on the
God
on the
bless
knob.
America. Yeah.
while he
and
sings to the whole team, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like going wild.
You
Oh
would,
my
this is like your
God.
It's
favorite
fucking
person, actually.
yeah. So he's Canadian. He just moved to the States to be an NFL
Oh,
player.
yeah.
I
And
hope
then-
he's an
Off.
illegal, dude.
And then but then you
Actually,
cry
I'm,
at the
like,
end because he
so-
tears
Cut.
his like ACL and he misses
Yeah.
the season. Or it's
I'm
a calf
actually
strain.
like so upset about this because the Bears are going to be the most likable team with like
Yeah.
I can't even think of his name right now. Simone Biles' husband.
Oh, Jonathan Owens.
Yes, like he's going to be.
He got leave from the team
That was
3 days to
way
go to Paris
overplayed, dude.
No,
to see his wife
I know, but
perform.
they,
But
like,
everyone's at the
lean into
training
it.
camp. They're
Oh
like,
my
"Oh, you're allowed to go to
gosh.
Paris."
Dude, I love the
Ugh.
idea of promoting like a good husband that's
Yeah.
like mindful and all
Yeah.
these things. That's beautiful.
Oh shit!
Is that? I thought that. Is it bye bye bye?
No, I wish it was.
Oh my
bye.
God.
I'd get the dance going.
It's like Marco coming into this, just being like, "Fuck you guys." But
I think it's getting louder.
I think we're gonna be okay actually.
Oh, okay.
But it keeps on getting louder actually. Yeah, I'm gonna actually. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's pause. Hi. Let's take a break.
Do you want me to just say that? You want me to just cue that up?
Sure.
We're back.
We'll see how I feel about Hard Knocks moving forward, but right now I'm like kind of about it. I think they did a really good job this season, and sometimes I'll fall off after a couple episodes, but this one's like kind of got me hooked, which again, like I said, makes me nervous about the fucking Bears.
Well, the production said last year with the Jets they were going to focus more on stars and not so much the like
Heartbreak
walk-on guys
story,
and the ones
right.
who you get close and attached to, and then at the end of the season they all get cut, and you're like,
You
what was
need
the
a combo
fucking
of
waste?
that, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You find a good personality. You know, unfortunately, like the kid who just
Yeah, that
died
guy
and
was
is
great.
gone. But at least we got him for an episode. I liked him. He's
Should we have
gone.
him on Vikings Banter?
That Bears kid?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Why?
Oh, he didn't actually die.
Bear ass. No, he's
No.
not dead.
Oh, you said he died and he's gone. I was like, okay, that happens.
Jeez.
Jesus, okay.
He's a bear. He's dead to us anyway.
That's true.
No, but
We should
now,
have him on here like as if he came off of Love Island.
yeah, that's what
And
I'm saying.
just treat him like that, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
We love the
when,
drama.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell us about Caleb
How
and his purse.
Yes.
No, but they're making a conscious effort to focus on stars. So we got Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
Moore.
Roma Dunze. Like,
Mhm.
you're getting the guys that are actually going to make the team.
Right.
Is
Same
it
way we
Doomsday
got-
cool?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked him in the draft, though. I'm pissed that they got him. I
Of
liked him in the
course.
draft a lot.
How could you not like him in the
Yeah.
draft? His speed and everything is crazy.
Well, also the Giants. So the Hard Knocks that just ended, which was the biggest steaming pile of shit ever
Mhm.
created. Not as a fan. As a fan, it was fucking hilarious. If I was a Giants fan, I don't know what I would do. That was the most embarrassing shit I've ever seen. But we got a live look inside their war room, and they basically came out and said, like, I mean, everyone they wanted, they didn't get, which was hilarious. And they like kept just saying like, oh, if we don't get this, we'll take this. But they were going to take Brock Bowers, the tight
Yeah.
end, if they couldn't get Malik Neighbors. So they weren't really that high on Roma Dunze either. So he kind of just fell into this amazing spot with the Bears.
You know how the crappy teams are the only teams to do the preseason one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's obviously the coach or GM didn't even probably sign off on it. It's probably like the owner.
Oh no, the GM was eating it. He loved it.
So what probably happened is like somebody up top signed them up for this to be able to help them be able to release all these people. They're just like, we have we have idiot coaching staff right now, or whatever it is.
This is
Let's
a bad
get them
look.
fired.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's actually
so then the
super
then the
smart.
fans are like, we got to get these people out of here, and the owner's like, yeah, let's get them out
Well,
of here.
especially with New York.
I
'cause
hope
New York
it was
media
that
is
calculated
so,
because
well, yeah.
if it wasn't and they thought like, let's
We got
show
this.
off, that's the most inept front office I've ever seen. There's no way other front offices work like that. And Dable, who I used to think was like the cool guy, no respect. Everybody walks into his he walks into his GM, his fucking boss's office. Starts chatting like that. He's at a QB meeting for the draft. He sits down with the kids. He's like, this.
Who
It's like,
is this
show
guy? What
some
are we talking
fucking
about?
respect. The coach of the Giants, who everybody 2 years ago, I think he won Coach of the Year when they took us out of the playoffs.
So he's
years
like a
ago.
cool guy.
He's supposed to be the cool guy, but he's like has no respect. Jaden Daniels is doing his quarterback interview for the draft, and he's like talking. Jaden Daniels is talking about like his life and da-da-da. Dable interrupts him and goes, "What was that play I gave you to memorize?" It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, oh,
Wait,
you
I kinda
got
like
him.
that.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Because it was like you're testing his memory, and he
sure,
nailed it.
let him finish the fucking story.
No, because he nailed it. Because it's like back and forth. Like, how can you switch?
Put him on the
Just,
spot.
like, put him on the spot.
Like,
I
who
liked
are
that.
you that you're like,
Wait,
like
I
there
thought
has
that
to
was
be a
cool.
level of like equal. It's
With
not
the head
like
coach and the players?
He's not
yeah.
No, dude,
This
they had to
isn't
be treated like
college.
minions.
Oh, yeah.
This is in college. The quarterback is going to get paid more than the coach.
Yeah,
so at
it's
that
tough.
point, it's
That's
like two
true.
businessmen trying to get something done. and
Ooh,
he's
okay.
coming in like, I'm your boss, and now I demand you tell me that play.
No,
Dude,
that's why you have to
shut
act like
up.
a tyrant. You have to create fear.
If you're an old guy who's won Super Bowls, Bill Belichick can do that all day.
Right.
Tom Coughlin, these like old head guys, totally fine.
I mean,
Dable
Bill
with his
Belichick has
fucking-
figured out how to manipulate young people. We've
Yeah,
all
who?
realized. Bill
Oh,
Belichick,
yeah. Oh God.
right? With his
Yes, we sure
19-year-old
do.
girlfriend.
What a beast.
I
He's just
can't.
like, dude, I've made so many pros. He's like, I'm going to try it on women.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah, and he's got
insane.
it. He's got the Riz, the oldest Riz in the
Does
game.
he?
He has the formula. He's like, I have a
Apparently,
formula for success for you. I've taken so many 19-year-olds and made them Hall of Famers. Like, what do you want to do here?
Wait, do I need to date Bill Belichick? I'm too old.
I was kidding. I didn't
Oh,
want to
I'm
say
too- I'm
it,
too
but
old. God
I don't know.
damn it.
Who knows? Who knows?
I'm
look,
too
he's
old.
done wonders with older people
Old
than
co-
you.
Hello, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got 40-year-old Tom Brady back to the Super
Here we
Bowl.
go.
He can do a lot with you.
This
Bill-
19-year-old's not going
Bill,
anywhere.
what's up? What's up, Bill?
Not until he might Leo it. Maybe she's too old.
26, yeah.
She might only get another year.
Yeah.
Trade in for a new
I'm
model.
gonna date Bill Belichick.
No, Bill Belichick's going to go to prison.
Vikings banter is gonna be on the rise because I'm gonna date Bill Belichick.
That'd be great. I'm actually
Can't wait.
totally
Hey,
for that.
look,
Awesome.
if you can get that, I can stop talking about Hard Knocks Bears and Caleb Williams' purse. If John Gooder was
I
here right now,
can't. John
Caleb
Gooder.
Williams' purse?
it wasn't a purse. He has like one of those
He has a
man
Louis
bags from
Vuitton,
like Louis
like-
Vuitton that all these
Yes.
athletes have now.
And John was like, "Oh man,"
He's
and I'm
like,
like,
"Oh,
"John, shut
gay."
the fuck up." Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Yeah. I get that.
But they did leave it in just like there's no need to show it, but they like held the shot
I
long
think
enough
it's-
for him to like pick
okay,
his bag
so-
up.
He
and
holds
walk.
it like that, though?
It was on the floor. You don't
Well,
know it's in the
like
room.
a duffel.
So he's like
It's
waiting,
Like
waiting.
a travel bag?
It
Yeah.
looks like a travel bag.
It's like big blue Louis
It's a
Vuitton,
Louis
like
Vuitton
expensive.
duffel. That's
So he's
what it
waiting,
is.
waiting.
Now, if it was like one of those littler ones?
No. It's not like
no,
a
no, no,
what do they
Like
call
the
it?
high school girl
No,
one.
No,
what's
it's a
it?
duffel.
Oh,
clutch?
okay.
It's like a
Yes.
clutch he throws
Yeah.
under
Yeah.
his arm.
No, here's the thing. And
That's your guy that does that, right?
Oh fuck. Who?
Yeah. No, it is Caitlin Williams. Yeah, it's all that.
the way that I saw that was like,
Yeah.
we're looking at how much money that person already has. That was my perspective of
Yeah.
seeing that shot. I was like, oh yeah, so like he made more than $1 million in fucking college, so he's rocking this like
No,
bag.
it
that's
makes
like
you
nothing.
show how
Like 7
insecure he
million.
is that he has to buy a bag.
He's
it's
20.
to make
They're
him
kids.
seem like he's...
They get handed
He's
$20 million.
20.
It's like, what are you
No,
gonna
I get.
buy?
I
Yeah.
understand why he's dealing with a brutal amount of insecurity. It's unbelievable.
Well,
Yeah, like-
sure, he's 20.
But you can see the leadership like qualities right away. I
Well,
know
this
I'm
is
a
his
big
guy.
homer, but he just my issue with Sam Darnold coming out of both USC guys. Sam Darnold coming out, going to the NFL, I was like, this guy's got no leadership capability whatsoever. He would get into a room of other men and he would just kind of like shut down and get
Yeah.
quiet. And I was like, if you're gonna go into a
He
room
lost
of
his
men,
juice.
you need to fucking be in there and be like, I'm the dog, follow me, we're gonna go kill some people.
I get that.
Caleb isn't like Tebow where he's like, I'm gonna fucking go nuts. But he gets in there and he just makes people laugh. And he threw a pick in practice. He's like, yo, guys, that's on me.
So he's got the
I'm
charisma.
going to be better. He's got the charisma. So the rookie show, they get up and the first thing they have to say is their name and their signing bonus.
Yeah.
So he gets up.
I saw this clip.
And he's got to say 25.5 million.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, and he like dances to it. He's like, he owns it. He's like,
Okay.
look, you all know, you know.
Yeah.
But then the Canadian kid gets
Yeah.
up and he goes, $20,000. And they're like, ah.
And then he gets cut?
Well, he got
Well,
hurt.
he got hurt.
I think he's
Yeah.
on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Staged.
But he's not going to make like opening
Yeah.
day because he's going to miss all of camp.
Right.
Oh, he's
Um,
gone. Yeah, he'll never see the field in his
Yeah.
career.
He'll
But
be a Viking.
yeah, so I don't know. It's a shame, man. I really don't want to like the Caleb Williams because he's on the Bears.
Oh, shut up, dude.
I don't.
You've been begging to find
but
a way
I
to
didn't.
like
I
him.
didn't want him to be in the fucking
You're gonna
NFC
send
North.
him like a Vikings banter handbag. And be like, we love you, dude.
we should.
That would actually be kind of sick, like inscripted with the Louis and
Yeah.
shit.
Look, Matt Eberflus is
What's
going
our
to be.
budget here?
He's going to destroy that team. He is such a pussy. He starts the show. He calls Caleb Williams on draft night and he goes, "Hey, buddy, it's Coach Flus." Who the fuck has ever called Matt Eberflus Coach Flus? Like, you're like
I
trying to
don't
give
know. Are
yourself
you
a
on the team?
nickname.
No, that's like Little Yachty. He calls himself Boat.
Yeah,
I get it.
Little Yachty's got swag. Matt Eberflus is a fucking loser.
Coach Flus.
Oh, Coach Flus. Hey, it's
Coach
Coach Flus.
Eberflus is hard to say. Flus.
He shouldn't be anything. It's Coach. Like, you don't even deserve a name because you're so bad. He's
Coach.
pathetic, and he comes in with a beard thinking he's all cool. Shut up.
Is it like lined up though?
He
Yeah.
sucks, dude.
Yeah.
They have a
Maybe
barber
he's swaggy,
in
dude.
the building.
Yeah.
It was actually really cool. I was thinking
Yeah.
about it. One of the offices in their building is a barber, so you just go anytime,
Yeah.
and he lines you
And
up.
he's got like a really sick like Chicago suburb beach home,
See,
lake house. I know. I was
on
like,
like Michigan,
oh.
like the Golden
Yeah.
Beach area.
Yeah. It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
I never even thought about it, but like if you're recruiting players, you guys want, throw a barber in the building.
That's a great
Anytime in the
idea.
day, you can go get lined up.
Well, so that reminds me. Have you guys seen the new Falcons facility? They
No.
just
I
like
saw
released.
pictures.
They nail everything.
They
Yeah. Well, they got like second best
but
stadium.
they
to us.
had the whole like they have a barber shop in it with like multiple chairs. I'm like, dude, you guys crushed this.
We
That's
got-
a- that's
I'm
a
sure we
content
have
studio.
it too. We just haven't seen it. 'cause
Yeah,
they
yeah,
didn't
but
I
say.
don't know.
Their locker room.
I mean, we
looks
won
crazy,
first
though.
place on everything.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
we
bet
can get
we've
A's.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their prices for their stadium too.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You can get, like-
$20 for like a full meal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, so that's what when Mercedes-Benz, when they redid the stadium, their whole thing was like, we're gonna make like affordable prices at our concessions, and like actually, you're gonna make more money in the long run because people are actually buying like 5 beers instead of 1.
Well, and then also it'll make it an experience that you could maybe do twice a year,
Right.
Not once a year.
Right. It's like
Because
a
for most
family-
people, the game's a
It's
once
expensive
a
as
year
fuck.
type
Yeah.
of thing.
It's so expensive. Yeah, and you can get like 5 items and it's $20.
Yeah. No, it's impressive.
It's insane.
And it looks like much better quality than like Dodger Stadium. My buddy's in Cleveland right now. He just went to a Guardians game.
Yeah.
Indians. And they
This has become a political show like so fast.
know.
it's the Indians. The Redskins and the fucking
Oh my
Indians.
God.
Jesus,
Guardians
dude.
and Commanders. Get the fuck out of here. So he's at a Guardians game yesterday and he's like, the hot dog here is fantastic.
Yeah.
The Dodger dog sucks ass.
The Dodger
and
dog
like he's a
sucks.
big
The
Sorry.
Dodgers
fan.
Stadium sucks.
It's the
dude.
worst
sucks.
fucking stadium.
It's the
Everything
worst.
about it, like to get to it, its placement in the city,
There's
its
no
experience.
I was
bars.
locked in that parking lot.
Oh, it's the worst.
A couple weeks ago,
I
I went to a
actually-
game. I couldn't get in. It was like 45 minutes sitting in the fucking line.
I had that exact experience, and I've to this day, I was like, I'm never fucking coming back here, and I have not.
It
gone
kind of
back.
sucks because it's nice to go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
Luckily, I live right next to the Angels
Which is
Stadium now,
great.
which is cool.
Which
And
is
that's
a stadium's
great
dope.
It's a dope stadium.
experience.
But
It feels like Disneyland.
it's better in LA to literally take the train to Angels.
Probably.
And that experience is so much more fun.
Yeah.
yeah, they
100%.
just suck. That's the problem. You got to wait for a good team. To
No,
go.
I just wait till
went for
I wait till the
Yankees.
Twins. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
only-
yeah,
I would
exactly.
rather go down to watch the Twins at Petco Park, which is amazing.
San Diego, amazing park.
Yeah, then
Great food.
go see
they deliver
the
the food to your
Twins
seats.
at the
They
Dodger
got a
Stadium.
lot of cool
Petco Park's
stuff.
awesome.
Petco's great, and it's right in the middle of the city. You walk
Exactly.
in.
Does the train go right there or not?
Yes.
Okay.
It goes right down there.
It's in
The
the
Twins are coming in 2
what's
weeks.
it called? Red light district, gas lamp
Gas
district.
lamp.
Oh, you actually can't get the train all the
Oh,
way
you
there.
can't?
No, you have to take a bus.
Oh,
Whatever.
It's all right.
we can do it.
I helicoptered last time.
Of course you would.
It's the only
Jesus.
time I've ever been on a helicopter.
Into Petco Park?
No, not into the park,
Jesus,
but
he
from
drops
LA
into
to
like. I would-
Where?
whatever the fucking airport thing is
You
nearby.
took it. Wait,
He
what?
didn't give a shit. He was just
I was
helicoptering.
a buddy of mine, very
Yeah,
wealthy.
tell this story.
His father is a very big deal. Called me one day. He goes, "Hey, you want to go to the Padres game?" And I was like, oh,
Little
yeah, I'm
late.
down. And then I was like, wait,
How are we gonna get there?
Dodgers aren't playing today. How are we going to go? Like, it's Padres-Dodgers? And he goes, no, we're going to go to San Diego. I'm like, today? I don't want to drive to fucking San Diego. He goes, no, we'll take the chopper. I'm like, fuck you. Let's go. Drove to the little airport.
You went to Van Nuys.
Van Nuys.
Yeah, you were Van Nuys.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Van Nuys. CBS helicopter waiting for us. Got on, flew over there, did a little flyover of Dodger Stadium,
Shut
which
the
was
fuck
closed,
up.
and then came home right after the game.
You were
That's
home
sick.
quicker than you would have been if you were at a Dodger game.
Oh,
It took him
100%.
longer to get from Van Nuys back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It
Seriously.
was cool. It was the only time I've been in a helicopter. It was really good.
That's
It was a lot of
so
fun.
sick.
Wait, so how long does it take to get to San Diego in a helicopter?
Yeah.
I think it was like 45 minutes,
Oh
something
my
like that. But we
God.
took like a scenic tour. I'm sure if you would like needed to get there quicker, it would be about that.
That's so wild.
That's the
Fun.
life.
Now, like, I hate to say this, but like, I get it, Kobe. I get it.
Whoa.
I
Like-
know
like
that
worth
was dark.
dying
Whoa.
for?
Well, no.
You picked a hell of a
Jesus.
day,
No, I know.
too.
Oh, I know.
8/8/24.
It's the day?
No, it was
No,
yesterday.
it's his
Oh,
number.
this is his day.
Tomorrow
Tomorrow.
is his 3 numbers.
Yeah.
8,
Eight.
10 was his Olympic, and 24.
We'll try to get this out by then. Jesus, dude. That's not the day.
Let's try not to get this out by then. Let's just cut that whole bit.
No. No, but it's scary because because also like I'll drive where like Kobe lives.
Yeah.
And you go, oh my God, this guy had the coolest type of life you could have in LA.
Mhm.
Like coastal
Yeah.
beach, but like the clean beach,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah.
dangerous
Not
beach.
the Santa Monica.
like the dope
Venice
stuff,
beach.
and then
Yeah.
he's just like, boop, just
Yeah.
go.
I mean,
Yeah.
he flew thousands of times in a helicopter.
Well,
you
and
know?
then again, I'm sure also your whole community's doing that. Like, in a
Right.
sense.
Yeah. And then
I think it
everyone's
was
like,
just him.
no.
He's probably not the richest guy in the area. that
No,
lived,
but
though.
to fly that often on a helicopter.
That
because every
often.
single game
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
taking,
that's
you
true.
know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Part of his contract.
Oh, that team was paying for the helicopter.
Yeah, that was part of his contract that he gets a helicopter to the game every game.
I didn't know the Lakers killed him. Holy shit.
Yeah. Because there's that like
Showtime.
Marriott right across the street where he could land. He landed right across the street from Staples Center.
Does LeBron do that?
No, LeBron lives in like Brentwood.
Still.
Kobe lived in
I
what?
know.
Like
I would still like definitely. What are you talking
There's not.
about?
You have to drive farther to get to
Every
a helicopter.
I mean, I do it every day, but whatever.
Well, they just put a helipad in
Where?
Brentwood. I don't know.
Brentwood?
Yeah,
On
why
top
not?
of your house.
Yes, on top of your house in Brentwood.
I don't know.
Your
if we have
neighbors
much
fucking hate
knowledge
you,
of
but
aviation laws around.
I
here.
don't, but I don't.
I don't think it's that easy.
Also, there'd be too much smoke for our Minneapolis listeners. There'd be too much smoke consistently in the Brentwood and Santa Monica mountains for like you to ever fly.
what kind
that
of
to.
smoke? Like, I want the smoke.
I
That
want the
kind of
smoke.
smoke.
No, but like fire season. Why am I so dark today? Jesus Christ! Move on to something else.
We were talking about politics and religion. Things were nice. Then you brought up Kobe. You know, things got real
Fire
crazy.
season.
Um,
All right.
All right. Should we?
Should we dive into?
I was annoyed by one tweet by I think it was like Kay Adams, that she was like, "I'm so excited to see that Evans got the green dot again."
Who?
Evans, like Ivan Jr. Ivan Pace Jr.
Jr.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yes, Ivan Pace Jr. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited he got the green dot again." It's like, no shit, he's gonna get the green dot.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only one that's been in the defense now for a
Right.
year, you know. And
Yeah.
he deserves it anyway.
Is he
I thought
actually
maybe
the
Blake
only one?
Cashman would get it, but I like that you can only give it to one.
No, but is he the only one that, like, truly that's been?
Oh, from the
Yeah,
defense? Well, no,
yeah.
Harrison Smith. But I mean, of the linebacking core,
Right.
Because that's who
You have to
usually
be in the
does it.
middle in your. You
You
walk
guys
through
can
here.
come through.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can walk through. You have to be in the middle. You can literally, yeah.
Yeah,
you're good.
we're good. Whatever. Move his mic out of the way.
Hello.
Whatever you need.
Oh
There you
shoot!
Subscribe to Vikings Banter.
That's right.
That's the toll.
But again, like, yeah, you have to be a linebacker, and he obviously didn't. He proved that he's like the perfect guy for it.
Yeah, he's a beast. And clearly he's still proving it because Blake Cashman could have easily come in and taken it, and they didn't. So I like that.
Yeah, I think Cashman just looks like Greenway, so I get why we just think that. He's supposed to be
Oh,
that guy.
absolutely. Fucking white middle linebacker all day. Give me that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do we want to get into the fantasy stuff?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could talk about the state of fantasy football right now
The
since
state
it's coming
of
around.
fantasy football. Wait, okay, so 1 year removed, Luke went viral for what he thought was, or still believes, very much
golden rule of
believes,
fantasy,
the golden rule of
pussies.
fantasy.
Crybabies in the
That-
comments telling me that
Yeah.
elitist. Yeah, I'm elitist. I've been playing this since I was fucking
And I'm
13 years
thirsty.
old. This is what we do. Commissioner.
And
of
your
my
league's
league.
expensive.
$1,000 buy-in.
Yeah.
And what do you win? So
If you get first, you get 10K.
That's a douchebag league.
that's a douche.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
17 years in, we're on Sleeper app. We don't use like the mainstream
Jesus
apps.
Christ.
We got rid of kickers. We're doing a
Okay.
whole thing.
So this is a perfect 17 years in, you got a big boy league, we got all these things.
Yeah.
Why should our listeners, and not even just our Vikings banter, like the fantasy football listeners, why should they take what you're about to say to heart? Why should they choose Luke Davis's?
You really
picks?
want to get me killed.
I kinda
You want me
do.
to get cocky and get killed. That's exactly what I'm going to do. No. No, I have staunch opinions. I'm a fantasy bigot.
But why are your opinions right? Is this a therapy
I tend to
session?
be right with a lot of my
Move your chair up before you speak.
I'm done with the light. So last year, I came out with my golden rule, which was you can't do snake draft.
Mhm.
I still stand by
You got
that. I mean, you
destroyed on the
can
internet.
if you're a pussy or like still,
you
in
doing
your
snake
first
drafts?
few years of fantasy football.
I don't even know if I'm in a fantasy league right now. I was in a
Perfect.
church
You're
fantasy
perfect
league,
for
and I think I
Snake.
might have got kicked out.
Because they watched the show. They found out about your Mormon takes.
No, they get all that. They love all that. I think I just like what
You didn't start your lineup.
No, what happens? No, I do fine, but if my team goes to crap, I lose all interest.
And
then
then
I'll-
you're
you're
going to say
gonna
you
start
lose
your lineup.
control.
Late in the season, and
No, that person sucks.
Yeah,
I
you
get it.
can't do
Because
that.
no.
I get it, but you're having me fight for your fun, and I'm not having fun anymore.
But that's why you need to have a
so I'm
sacco-
just like, screw it. I'll sell all my things to some guy that's
That's
just
why you
favorable.
need a sacco punishment, so to prevent people from
Which
finishing
is?
last place.
Oh, I like that.
Every
Yeah.
team has different ones. We have the Sacco cater the draft party next year,
Okay.
so he's got to feed everybody, which is going to be a couple $100, So you really
Oh no,
do
you're
not-
like we're
and
going Manny's.
and
like,
we changed your
takeout.
name.
Yeah, he said a couple hundred,
Yeah.
of course.
It's a
thousands,
grand. It's a grand
$3,000,
easily.
no, it's not bad.
Really?
But we changed your name, which is worse, the public humiliation of changing your name to Sacco
never-
Bitch for the entire season. You
Sacco
can't change
bitch.
your name.
That's funny.
I like that.
So last year's golden rule, which I hope you all followed and are trying auction this year, was no snake. This year's golden rule, no PPR. This is not fantasy socialism.
What about a half point PPR?
No, why? Why? Why are we giving? Why are we?
Is this new? Do you guys do PPR?
No, I would never do PPR. No,
Ever?
it changes the stand. It
it's
changes
so much more
the
fun.
rankings of everything. Why? Because it's inflated scoring.
Yeah.
Enough with the inflated
Exactly.
scoring. Why don't you just give 10 points for touchdowns? It makes no
Okay.
sense. The scoring works. The standard scoring has been there since 2000. It's always worked. It's always gonna work. It's perfect the way it is. Don't mess with it.
But then you're not nail biting a random running back in the middle of nothing.
know.
Just
Of
getting
course
an
you
extra,
are.
just
You're
an
still-
extra
you-
yard or two though. Changes
The yard,
course.
yeah, but catching a ball, you don't get points for getting the ball handed to you as a running back. So why do you get points catching a ball? You don't get points for a quarterback throwing a pass attempt. You have to do something when you get the ball. If a wide receiver catches a -1 yard screen, he gets a full point. But then a running back
Does
gets
he
8
though?
yards, and the catch was worth more than a running back getting 8 yards.
Oh, okay, I do actually see what you're
Okay.
saying
It's
now.
ridiculous to me. The whole point is
You don't get a per touch.
that's what a catch is. Exactly. The PPR is you just catch the ball. You don't have to do anything else. You've caught it, now you get a point. That point is equivalent to rushing the ball for 10 yards. That's fucking insane. It's just people trying to inflate scoring. Yeah, the showing up and getting a participation trophy drives me crazy. You have to do something with the
This
ball.
is our next viral
You can't
moment.
just catch it
Yeah.
and be like, I got a ball. Like Deontay Johnson catches 10 balls for 50 yards and people are like, this is the best wide receiver in fantasy. It's ridiculous to me. Hate it. Hate it.
But wouldn't that hurt players like Justin Jefferson?
No, it's great. He gets like 10 catches a game, but there's guys who
So
are
it only-
boom bust
it
guys.
got it. It helps the players that just are like
Volume
these
guys.
mediocre. Gotcha.
It helps when you have injuries and your team is fucked, and you're like, all right, I gotta like dive deep into.
Who's gonna?
Well, it
What
doesn't,
taking
because
up for the
everybody, because it just changes the rankings of everything. It hurts guys like Derrick Henry who are like pounding running backs who don't catch the ball very
so you're
often.
very concerned about the players, is what you're saying.
No, I don't like that it changes the rankings. Like Danny Woodhead, the old Chargers running back, used to get like 10 catches. He was like the greatest receiving running back for that time. And he was like one of the top fantasy running backs for years. It's like, this guy's not even good. He's nowhere near the Pro Bowl, but for some reason, every year he's one of the best fantasy running backs.
So it would hurt CMC then.
No, CMC catches the ball a lot.
That's what I'm saying. It would hurt him to not, if he's not in a PPR league, his ranking would change.
I mean, he's matchup proof. He's system proof. He's the best player in fantasy, no question. So he's fine in anything.
Luke's list.
But like an Eckler, who was horrible rushing the ball last year, would have still been very good because of PPR. It's just the workhorse running backs, or even, I mean, it's not even just running backs.
So you just don't like to do
ends,
the extra work to
receivers.
know the nuances of what PPR has to do?
No, I
for fantasy
absolutely know
football?
the nuances. It's just...
Makes you work too hard.
No. It's not about the work. Again, it's just that you're inflating scoring on guys that aren't as good as PPR makes them look.
You just think it's participation
socialism.
trophy.
Yeah, exactly. Here, I'm showing up. Give me points. Do something with the ball.
Got it. You're like the Jaden
I think
Vance of fantasy
catching.
football now.
Yeah, I think catching. Right.
You
I
think catching
the
it?
ball. Yeah, I think catching the ball is like, you go catch a ball.
I'm not in the NFL.
But I kind of like it when you can find like a random no-name guy that has like high
Totally.
production just in that space where you're like, oh, it's why like some random receiver that Tom Brady used to have where like they would plug him in. You're like, oh, this guy, he's not going to win the game for the team, but he's going to have like 12
Great
random
fantasy.
catches and
Yeah.
they're just going to plug him.
It's a lot of catches.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything with 12 catches, you fucking suck, and you should not be on a fantasy team. I don't care how many catches you get. But my best case there is the rushing for 8 yards or catching a screen pass for 0. The 8-yard rush is way harder and should be rewarded.
So that leagues that are doing PPR now, you would just say that they're socialists.
I just think they're pussies. Like, stop trying to inflate scoring. It's the same thing with like people with like 2 flex or like 6 kickers or a fucking 7-point passing touchdown. It's like, why are you changing this? You know, it worked. Why are we changing everything
Why
just
did
for
it
more
change?
points?
I actually don't know.
People like points. They want inflated scoring. That's all. They want to see big
So,
numbers.
The apps, the ESPNs, the Yahoos, the everything, that is who invented this because they're like, oh, we like points. People like to see like.
Yeah, people just give options
high-scoring
because there's
games.
so many in competition with each other.
But who
ESPN,
even, that's my
CBS,
point. Like,
you know.
why did someone come up with PPR? You know.
Yeah, it was just like an interesting change
I like
somebody
half-point.
tried.
I like half point PPR.
But look, there's PPR, and then what's the other one called? Standard scoring.
Okay.
It's the standard.
Yeah, okay, but fantasy football was created in what, like the 70s? So
I think it was the 90s. They were doing it with newspapers.
yeah.
I remember the story about like this old
Something.
guys league where they were like looking in the
No,
newspapers.
yeah.
They'd have to
Like,
like
he's already a
tally.
traditionalist and it's only been around for like 30 years.
Yeah.
He's just
It's been
like
a long
stuck
time, man.
on it, dude.
Yeah. If you're the first to the party, you make the rules. You
Oh
know?
my god.
Those old guys were never keeping fucking
Yeah,
catches
because they had
involved.
to. They was way too much work.
It is
Yeah.
a lot of work.
I
Getting
feel
the
like
newspaper the
those
next
guys
day.
now
Yeah.
with these types of
for
mechanics
sure.
are doing like crazier stuff.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to
100%.
dabble and try something out, but if you've got like a serious fantasy football league you're doing every year, well, you know, messing
Okay,
with it is
so-
too much.
Let's talk about strategy then.
Mm.
So a couple different layers here. Like a strategy if people are coming to fantasy football and it's like, oh, I'm like a casual fantasy football player. Up
Well-
to I'm a professional that like still does fantasy football on a fucking newspaper type shit.
I mean, no matter what it is, you know, I'll talk about snake draft because that would be
Yeah,
you're not
auction
usually
versus snake.
stepping in
Yeah.
day one auction, but I will try to talk about both in strategy. No matter what, the first thing is you got to know the rules of your league, you know.
That is
so many
true.
times they change something.
Were you in Unbreakable last year?
Yes.
Oh my god.
No, not last year, the year before.
They took
but
out the tight end, and I didn't know. And there's
What do you mean they took
they
out?
replaced it with a
just-
flex.
Yeah, they replaced it
so
with a
you
flex.
could play a tight end, but why the fuck would you
Why
play a
would-
tight end?
Why would I? So I drafted
Unless you have a top
fucking
3 tight end.
because I
Well, or
thought-
unless you're so far down the board, like all the other people ate up all the real things.
right,
Yeah, exactly.
or unless you have Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So like if you didn't have Travis Kelce, so I'm like, fuck, like I got to pick this some random tight end, and I didn't have to. I could have gotten
Yeah.
a great receiver.
But like the scoring, like my brother joined the
Yes.
league and it was 6-point passing touchdown, and he drafted Jalen Hurts, and it's like, oh well, why I didn't need to take Jalen Hurts, who's better for a rushing. Like, you know, you've leveled out the scoring. Like you just have to know
That's actually
the-
a really good
the
tip.
rules before going in. Like, make sure you check all that stuff. Maybe it's half point PPR, maybe it's 2 quarterback. but it changes the entire
I hate
draft.
two quarterback.
And then it's just value. So much of my rankings that like people are gonna be annoyed with my top 10 is, yeah, this guy's one of the most talented players in the league, but he's a split time running back. I want workhorse running backs. You know, if you can get quarterback, the drop off at quarterback, like from 1 to 7, is maybe 4 points a game. You can make that up. Like, don't take Josh Allen in the first round. Wait till round 10 and get, Justin Herbert.
Well, but that's like the worst advice ever. Like, nobody picks a quarterback with their first pick.
A lot of people do. If you're going to get Josh Allen, you've got to take him in the first or second round. It's usually the guys at the end of the back-to-back. It's like you get the 9 or 10 pick, and it's not coming back to you till 30, so you might as well get the top quarterback on the board, and then it flips. But that's where you need to get your anchor running back, your anchor wide receiver, those guys you can rely on every week. And because the drop off at those positions is going to be way worse, and you need more of them. Quarterback, you need one.
Similar to like a draft strategy of like, let's say you're like 8 or 9, which I love that position because you're getting back in like pretty quick if you're a snake.
Sure.
Yeah. But is it one of the strategy of like, okay, take who's available, like the best person available at
BPA,
any position there?
No, I wouldn't take quarterback or tight end. Those are the two I'm fine with waiting.
That's what
especially
I'm saying.
This year with tight end. No, but the two main positions now are running back and wide receiver because you need so many. You need one in a standard. You need one quarterback. You need one tight end.
Yeah.
You need 2 running backs. I would go with 3 or 4 running backs because they get hurt so often.
Drafting a running back first.
Depending on where you're picking in Snake, which is, again, why I hate Snake so much, because if you're the 8th pick, you don't get a chance at the best player in fantasy, CMC, or, a rising star, Bijan Robinson, or Justin Jefferson, or Amon-Ra. Like,
it's just not.
You're playing a different game. Like, you got to wait till 8 and take, like,
it's just like being a GM.
No, but GM is based on the inverse order of the standings from last year, meaning you're coming in with a good team already if you're picking last.
Okay,
you don't get to come in with a championship team. You're starting from 0, and everybody above you gets an advantage. Auction, everybody has a chance at everything, But if you are 8, 9, 10, yeah, you get the back-to-back. But yeah, I'm going running back or receiver because you need 3 of each, just to fill your lineup.
Yeah.
So those are the more important positions. This year, especially, quarterback and tight end are the deepest I've seen it in ages. Tight end especially, because usually it's Travis Kelce,
happen in a minute.
Mark Andrews, Kittle, and then dog shit.
Yeah.
And this year you've got Sam Laporta in, you got Kincaid, you got all these other guys, Brock Bowers, who's this year's big rookie. Like, a lot of guys are filling up that top 10. Kyle Pitts has a quarterback finally. It's a more interesting position where I'm willing to wait on guys. Same with quarterback. This is the deepest quarterback I've ever seen. I mean, if you get Brock Purdy as your quarterback, you're fine with it. And he could be the 11th, 12th quarterback off the board.
So everybody's going to get one.
Everyone's getting a quarterback. You're getting 2 legit quarterbacks this year.
So what is the weakest fantasy position?
Running back. And it's the most important because of that. Because when you line up on the field, there's 3 wide receivers on the field, there's 1 or 2 tight ends, and there's 1 running back.
Isn't there some guys with strategies that go like 0 running backs?
Yeah, I've never understood that strategy.
Is that ridiculous. A PPR strategy?
I guess it would be
more.
Just
load up on wide receivers.
Yeah, it could be more, because also that means you can find cheap running backs late who just catch passes and give you like 7 points, and then But now wide receiver is so fucking deep, and it's such a heavy passing league. You can get even though the best players are wide receivers, you can wait and get dope guys later in the draft. Like, you can get the Terry McLaurins, the Deontay Johnsons, the Jackson Smith and Jigbas. These are going to be good receivers who you can get in 15th round and on. So I would still stack up on running back because it's the most scarce.
Yeah.
There's only 32 starting running backs in the league. And then half of those are split time running backs now. So, if you're trying to get a workhorse, there's 12 guys, and you need 3 on 12. If it's a 12-team league, 12 teams, that's immediately 36 running backs. There aren't 36 starting running backs. So there's not enough at the running back position to even fill teams. So wide receiver would be the best position, but it's also the deepest.
Right.
So running back for me is always the must get early.
What if you have the first pick?
CMC.
Are you going CMC?
It's not even, I believe in valuing in a player's risk of injury, and I think he has a high risk injury.
Right.
It's just worth it if he doesn't get hurt like last year.
But that puts
he
so much
wins you a
pressure
league.
on your second
Yes.
pick.
Yeah.
Like, so much pressure.
Yeah.
I
But-
hate having the first pick.
Yeah, because it's 1 in 24.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's
you can go into the season going, I have a matchup advantage every single week with Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if I have it with Bijan Robinson. I don't know if I have it with Breece Hall.
Right.
You know, and then if you go receiver first, you're like, great. But when it gets back to me
JJ.
at 24, there's going to be good receivers and there won't be good running backs.
Exactly.
So then you're like, do I take a risk on Nick Chubb, who's coming off an ACL tear? Like,
And older.
it starts to get scary.
Nick Chubb's been in the league for a minute.
And the best running back always ends up being some guy that we didn't even know his name before the
Totally.
season started. If you don't watch college football, there's
Yeah,
always
the
some
rookies are
young
coming
guy that you're just like,
or some
whoa.
undrafted free agent workhorse.
Well, and then also it like year to year it changes because last year Devon Achane was nobody, and if you got him on your team, you had this nuke,
yes.
and you're like
Me?
amazing, yeah. Like
Yeah.
everybody
I
that
think
got
we both had him.
Devon, I didn't have him.
Oh, I did.
Everyone that got Devon Achane was,
But you couldn't predict it.
you can't predict it. And then this year, ESPN and all these fucking sites have him ranked like 7th. And you're like,
Why?
this can't be your RB1. You cannot rely on him. One, because he's not even the RB1 on his own team.
Yeah.
He's the second string running back behind Raheem Mostert. How can you go into a season with like, that's my RB1?
So
like,
wait,
no.
what's the highest you should ever draft a split time running back?
It depends who it is, because Jahmyr Gibbs, who's one of the best talents in the NFL right now, is a full,
You
almost
go through.
You guys are good.
almost a 50-50 split time running back.
Gotcha.
And the Lions last year produced 2 top 10 running backs, and Jahmyr Gibbs was second. Like David Montgomery finished higher than him on the position rank. So why would it worked for them? They got to the NFC Championship. They should have gone to the Super Bowl. Ben Johnson's not going to change that offense because people want Jahmyr Gibbs to succeed in fantasy. Like they're going to run the exact same offense this year, almost full split time. You get a full possession, you get a full possession.
A little
If
motorcycle
that wasn't
action.
the case, I think I know him. If that wasn't the case, I would draft Jahmyr Gibbs with one of the top 3 picks in the draft.
Gotcha.
But as it is right now, he's not, I can't do it. I can't take a split time guy. I would much rather have a Derrick Henry, who people are like,
Still.
oh, he's so old. Every year, I'm like, he's done.
Yeah.
He's had way too many touches. It doesn't make sense. He can't continue, especially on a shitty Titans team with no offensive
Right.
line and no other options.
But
You're
he's the
He
over
only
does it
option.
again.
You're over that like hesitation now.
Well, now it's worth the risk reward. The juice is worth the squeeze. He's on the most conducive team to his talent in the NFL, a team that grounds and pounds with a nasty offensive line. The Ravens are just pound the rock. They made Gus Edwards a fantasy stud last year, and he sucks. Derrick Henry should eat. There's no one behind him trying to take touches from him. And Lamar Jackson, the two of them running a running passing option, RPO, it's the most dangerous play in the
Yeah.
NFL. What are you going to do? You're gonna cover just Derrick Henry and let Lamar Jackson run wild?
Now, could he potentially lose touches because of Lamar, though?
He'll lose touches to Lamar, but not handoffs.
It's almost like a split-time running back in that
It's just
system,
going to be
in a
like,
sense.
they're going to run the ball like 35 times a game. If Lamar takes 9, whatever. Derrick will get at least 20, and they pound it in the end zone. They're not passing. They don't want to pass. They're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And they just got Derrick Henry. Like, you had to go get him and pay him a little bit. You're going to use him. You're going to run him into the ground.
Sure.
Right.
So, yeah, so there's a lot of different options. But yeah, I think the move is get the running back, get a guy you know is going to get carries, always get your handcuff, the backup to
Yep.
your running back. Because if he goes down, boom, the next guy slots right in,
Love that.
Depth.
That's a great
Defense, I think, it's a crapshoot, but everyone always goes with last year's number 1, and I think it's like 5 straight years. It's been a different number 1 every year. So getting the number 1 is almost a bad idea, Let somebody else take the top 1 from last year, and then you come in.
Do we want to dive into this too of what the new kickoff rule potentially means for defense / special teams and
Yeah.
how
I think you got to pay attention. That's something you're going to have to be paying attention to week 1 because we don't know
So you
who's going to.
You can't draft it, right?
You can't predict. Kansas City, I think, has already kind of said that they're trying some stuff, but it's more on the kickoff side than the receiving side. They said they were going to use a safety to kick off so that they had one extra tackler on the field because the kicker's not going to fucking tackle anyone.
But he's going to get penalized. He's not going to kick it. I mean, it's pretty precise.
No, well, he's been practicing all offseason kicking, and he actually stepped in last year as the punter when Townsend got hurt.
Oh, sick.
So this guy's got experience. It's Justin Reed,
most of these guys have done it, probably kicked in high school.
Yeah, or they're just like fucking around on the field, and they're like, hey, you actually aren't bad at that. Try it again.
I was our high school kicker.
There you go. We can get you back out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's something you're going to have to pay attention to week 1 when the strategies come out and you see if somebody had something and you just go pick up a team.
Right.
But, like, the Dolphins are a creative team. I have them as my 5th ranked defense, and everyone's like, why? And then you go look at their like last 5 finishes, and they've finished in the top 3 of the last 4 years. They were on their way to the first place last year before they lost 2 players on defense.
Not that he's like really doing the defense scheme, but I love Mike McDaniels because he's like a little
it's fantastic.
sneaky
but he encourages his staff to do creative shit.
Right.
And he's the one hiring the staff. So yeah, those are his guys, you know.
Yeah.
No, I'm all for a Miami. And they put up points, so it means they're going to be kicking off both directions.
That's
true. They give up points, they kick off points. There's going to be a lot of opportunities there. Dallas is another one who finds a way to score. Huh?
Do you want to reveal your defense?
My top defense?
Are we ready for that?
I don't know. I don't know if we're ready for that.
I think we're ready. Pull out the board.
I'm not prepared or anything with any sort of but the Jets are my top defense. That
did you not just say the Dolphins?
I'm so pissed that you just are like you just have the Vikings just chilling on the side as if
the Vikings are my honorable mention. They're not in my top 5. I only did 5 for defense because it falls off so dramatically after.
Participation trophy for socialists.
We did. We got the socialism trophy for the Vikings. They're in the next 5, okay? I couldn't put them in the top 5 because they started so slow at the beginning of last year. Second half of the season, we were the number 1 defense. First half of the season, not so good.
You can't totally rearrange your linebacking core and know what's actually
and get rid of Danielle Hunter. I have no idea what it's going to look like to start. I know what it'll look like to finish. I know what it'll look like. We figure it out. Flores will figure it out. To start, it could be some growing pains, you know.
Yeah.
And we need the offense to stay on the field and give the defense some time to rest, which is actually why I have the Jets 1.
That makes sense
because they're stacked. But last year they spent 70% of the time on the field. This year they get Aaron Rodgers back. They should be able to give the defense some time to recover. 2 Cowboys. Cowboys have been so solid for so many years now. Ravens, that's their identity. They hit you in the mouth. This is what they've always done. Niners are the most stacked team on paper of all the defenses, but for some reason they don't finish as the top defense. So
Cowboys
are 2.
I thought you said Jets for something. Sorry.
No, Jets 1, Cowboys 2, Ravens, Niners, Dolphins, and then let's just. You want to keep the Vikings on your team, but you don't want to start them for the first 8 weeks.
Would you draft them deep?
Yeah, if I'm taking, I like to take a backup defense and play the matchups.
Yeah.
Because you could have the Jets and they could play the Chiefs, and you're like, I'm not fucking starting this team against the Chiefs, you know?
Do you do a 2 defense?
No.
He goes no defense.
No, I usually, like, unless for some reason I feel really confident in defenses, which there was years that I did. I don't really as much anymore. There's so much plug and play that you can do and just situation it that I usually just kind of flex it in and out.
I drop every week, pretty much.
Oh, you stream?
Yeah.
Streaming's fun until you find a team that does really well. You drop them, somebody else picks them up, and you're like, fuck,
No, that's true. Like, I try to go into it like, okay, this is who I actually think is going to be it. But I know week 2 or 3 that I'm comfortable just being like, fuck it. Like,
I'll just take a flyer on, like, another, like, running back or wide receiver in the draft just to kind of hold for a second.
Yeah.
And I'll just plug and play. And then what ends up happening is you kind of find your defense in while you're doing the streaming that you're calling it.
It's very schedule dependent. If I don't get one of the top 3 that's like every week matchup proof, I'm finding a team that has a really weak schedule. I did it last year. It didn't It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't bad. Like, I picked up the Saints as my defense.
I had them.
They had the easiest fucking schedule I've ever seen for the first 10 weeks of the season. I never had to swap them out. Just they were my set and forget.
Interesting. I like that play.
Yeah, you just find the schedule. Because if someone, the Ravens, the Steelers, Steelers have a great defense on paper. The best defensive player in the league, in my opinion, TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick. But you get 2 games against the Ravens. I don't want to start them. 2 games against the Bengals. I don't want to start them. 2 games against the Browns, which are tough. Like, that's half your season there,
Right.
That's good strategy.
When you can just, like, flip to a bad quarterback every single week.
Yeah.
And just be like, you kind of crush it.
Oh, my God. If you can get a, what is it, AFC South? Is that the NFC South? The Panthers division. Like, if you can get one of those guys, like a Colts defense or something, or Texans defense, and you get 2 against the Colts, you get 2 against the Panthers, that's the one you want.
That's actually smart.
Yeah.
We might even be that division this year a little bit.
Our division's tough.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in the division.
No, but we might have some quarterbacks that suck. Between us and the Bears.
We're going to be the one that sucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there might be a pick fest between
Packers defense could
Caleb
be good.
Williams and what we have going on.
And Jared Goff slings it. He's going to be getting picked off.
You never know.
Yeah. No, look, Packers defense, they got Xavier McKinney off the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
They got, one of the best safeties in the NFL. It's a good defense. They, Packers usually have a surprisingly good defense. I wouldn't sleep on them.
I'm a little talk to me about 4. Talk to me about Niners. Is it the Super Bowl slump? Is it just things have
For you?
Huh?
Why I put them 4 or why you think they should be higher?
I honestly don't. I don't know. I don't know my opinion on it. I just think it's an interesting placement. And I believe in the Super Bowl slump.
Because what did they finish last year? Like 1 or 2?
Overall?
No, they've only finished inside the top 10 once in the last 4 years.
Oh, interesting.
So everybody thinks they're this juggernaut, but they're really, on the field, that's the best defensive unit in the NFL. Weak division, I'll take 2 against the Rams, 2 against the Seahawks, and 2 against the Cardinals all day. That's fine. But for some reason, they just don't get the things that matter, which is like pick sixes. Like, that's a big point scorer in fantasy, Sacks is like, okay, you get 1 point per sack.
So do you think the fantasy points for defenses is like maybe off?
It's hard.
As a purist, I feel like you should be like, they're just not grading them right.
I mean, fantasy and NFL are completely different. Like, Patrick Mahomes is by far the best quarterback in the NFL. It's not even close. There's no chance in hell I'm taking him first quarterback overall. This year, I actually have him ranked second, but most years he doesn't finish in the top 3, other than his one breakout season.
And like Lamar Jackson sucks.
In real life, I would never take Lamar Jackson as my quarterback, but he's one of the best. I think I have him 3 this year. I think I have him 3 this year as my fantasy quarterback, because it's just different, it's different things. But yeah, with defenses, like the Chiefs were the number 1 defense in the NFL last year based on points per game. They allowed the least points per game. That's what the NFL goes by. But were they the best defense? Like, definitely not in fantasy. I think they were like 13th. So
God, I always thought fantasy was just like a fun way to gamble during football. I didn't realize it's like literally autistic 3D chess.
Yes, 4D. Yeah, you're playing 2 different boards, swapping them over and under.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun.
Around. Let me just see this. Okay. Yeah, we're not revealing things here. Yeah. Okay. It's just interesting because I think, just like you said, like on paper, someone would be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to take the Niners if they're available," because
you see the Niners, you think Nick Bosa, you think Fred Warner, you think this absolutely stacked team.
Yeah.
But they're, again, with defenses, it's a crapshoot. You get 5 sacks in a game, like that's a nasty game. That's 5 points. If the Dolphins get 1 pick six, they've got more points than you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like. It's why we got rid of kickers, because it was so random. You have no control over what is happening, whether the team decides to kick, how long the kick is. Like, it's just a nightmare.
And then Dolphins, Dolphins, is this coming into play that like they have a strong offense and you're going to get a little bit.
That kind of hurts them because they score so many that the defense is like lax, and they're like, who cares if we allow 25? We scored 40, So that is the only drawback. But this year they're starting healthy. They get Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb back, who they lost last year. They lost Andrew Van Ginkel to us, thank you. But they start the year with Jalen Ramsey. Last year, they didn't have him until like week 10. They were on pace to be the number 1 fantasy defense last year. And then they got, key injuries they lost. And they finished top 6 3 of the last 4 years. Like, that's something that there's a consistency there that people just overlook. And it's like, you can get defenses so cheap, might as well take a shot on this one.
And just like you mentioned earlier, like the potential creative aspect with
the kickoff.
Yeah,
I would believe that they got Odell, they got Tyreek, and they got Jalen Waddle. Those are 3 of the fastest players in the NFL. And, Achane as well. And I think Jeff Wilson Jr., they could put any of those 5.
Jeff Wilson Jr.'s on...
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was a Kyle Shanahan guy, and when they cut him from the Niners, he went to play with McDaniels, who was the offensive coordinator before.
Sure.
There's a lot of... Like Raheem Mostert also came over from there. So they have so many speed little guys. If they put any of them on the kickoff, that's going to be a fucking nightmare. Imagine you don't want to risk Tyreek, but if OBJ...
Why wouldn't you?
OBJ
just risk it.
Dude, you put him in open fucking field with everybody not getting a running start, you could put Tyreek back there. He'll get 3 touchdowns on the season easy. All he has to do is break through one line of defense.
And I would, because if I were like a GM right now, I always look at like thinking, I wonder what the statistics change the outcome of games when you have a kick return for a touchdown.
Look back at Devin Hester.
It's got to like turn it into like, it's got to be like 90% of the chance time you win.
The momentum you take to start a game. If you're starting a game with a kickoff return, the other team's like, fuck. I mean, look at, the Bears ended up losing that Super Bowl because they had no offense. But Devin Hester opened the fucking Super Bowl with that kickoff return for a touchdown. The place was... that was the most exciting thing I think I've ever seen as a football fan. It was a team I hated.
Right.
It's a game changer, which is why they changed these rules.
He didn't let me hate that team. Devin Hester didn't allow me to hate that team.
Ooh, wow.
I couldn't do it.
He was so cool. He was fantastic. And D'Angelo Hall was the human joystick. He was on the Chiefs. He was the one right before Hester who was like the best in the league.
Who's still not in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a tough one. He was so bad everywhere else. If you don't have the record...
Dude, you could literally just watch the game and see him return a kick every single
But if you're not the best...
Sometimes twice a game.
If you're not even the best at what you do, like Hester's the best at that, at a position that doesn't matter as much. Hester, I completely understand. If you're the second or third best at it, you're kind of like, it's not that, nobody cares.
There's kickers in the Hall of Fame.
They kicked important field goals.
Yeah,
Adam Vinatieri deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Those kicks are insane.
I'm just saying.
You know who doesn't? It's Gary Anderson. Fucker.
Well, duh.
That's like when
Blair Walsh.
That's unbelievable.
But yeah, the Chiefs. I mean, look, between the Chiefs defense and now I'm thinking about the players that they have that they could put at kick return. Xavier Worthy, they just drafted, who ran the fastest 40 of all time at the combine. These are guys that if you put Xavier Worthy in that fucking returning a kick, that could be multiple touchdowns a game.
Okay, give me this. It's the last pick. Save the last pick in the draft. We'll say snake, but like even auction. This is your last pick of whatever. You already have a defense. You're comfortable with it. Who is left on the board potentially that you're like, I'm gonna bring them on?
That's a boom bust pick where you can just take a shot. I did.
Who would you take a shot on?
I did Nico Collins last year with my last pick.
Defense wise.
Oh, defense. Oh, defense.
Yes.
Dude, it's not even fun enough.
Yes,
like,
it is.
You've got to go like deep tight end with
Weird.
the last pick.
Like and Udenze would maybe be like a random guy.
I think Odunze gets drafted.
Yes.
No, like I took Nico Collins last year. Nobody really had him high, and he was one of the best receivers in the NFL. I think there's so many receivers like that. I really like Brendan Rice, the receiver for the Chargers, Jerry Rice's son.
Oh.
Because the Chargers have no standout receiver right now.
Right.
Mike Williams left. Keenan Allen's gone. They have
Joshua
Palmer.
You're not a big Herbert guy, though.
I love Herbert. I think Herbert's
John's
fantastic. John doesn't
John
like
doesn't
Herbert.
like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's got nobody to throw to right now. Quentin Johnston can't catch a fucking cold. Lad McConkey is white. I love him. I love white people, but it's not.
Well,
I don't
sounds
trust
like
him
sort
on
of.
the field.
I think that should be prefaced with you sort of love white people.
I kind of like it.
Just
Sometimes,
not on football fields.
Sometimes I like white people, not at the receiver position. Other than Cooper Kupp, there's not a lot you're going to confidently.
Yeah.
So
did
Lad
you guys see
McConkey,
talking of white guys? The cornerback? Did you see his picture?
Cooper DeJean?
Yes.
No.
Put it up.
Evan,
put it up.
Evan, put it up.
All right, go cut to the next clip. It's nuts.
Okay.
So yeah, Lad McConkey is not going to be like a wide receiver one. I think it could be a Dejean, D-E-J-E-A-N. The other wide receivers, Brendan Rice is looking really good in camp so far, and I'm like, you know what? That's somebody who would be worth, because you could get a wide receiver one with the last pick in the draft. You know.
What am I looking? What am I googling?
And then
I typed
defenses.
in Cooper DeJean iconic.
Iconic.
I don't know. Nothing popped up on images. So
defenses. If you're gonna take a shot at the end.
The shot at the end.
Like the Vikings will probably be gone.
Yeah.
I saw the Commanders ranked kind of high, and it doesn't make any sense to me. They finished dead last season.
What is
Do
happening?
they have glasses? Did they
A
throw glasses on him?
dude. A
Does he have
child.
glasses on?
Yes, he has glasses on.
I don't even think he wears glasses.
A child.
Oh my god, I can't. What is happening? I love that I'm not an Eagles fan. This is rough.
Eagles are in for some turmoil. Every report that comes out, it gets worse.
About
They're just
their
saying
locker room?
Sirianni and Hurts' relationship is fractured
Love
beyond
that.
repair.
And they're fighting and stuff, right?
The coach
fucking
and
love
quarterback
that.
can't get along.
I love that. I
And
love it.
AJ Brown's a little diva bitch,
Yep.
but you don't have the veteran guys who keep the locker room together in Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey,
Yeah.
both gone. Like, that's like mayhem, and everyone just expects to be this top
I
team
love that.
that's going to
This is
come
so
back and do
great.
it again. It's like, no, there's no guarantee.
No,
for
because
that.
they shit the bed last year because of this exact
Yep.
thing.
And then key pieces were like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it
for
gets
those
too
guys
exhausting.
to retire when
Yeah.
this is a Super Bowl contending team, it's got to be like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
you're still at the top.
And
of
you
your
can't
game.
like switch teams if
No,
you're
no, no,
that
no,
type
no.
of guy.
No.
You're at the
God,
end
no.
anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody, you don't want to go.
Philly would
start
like
with a
burn
new
your house
team.
down.
Yeah, it's just like that's where you've been this whole time. Fuck it. It's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, that episode ended a little bit abruptly. We thought we were going to be able to get back on the patio and finish it up. We didn't. We had some meetings to get to. Preseason week 1 just happened. We hopefully will be back by the end of the week to be able to give you the full recap of what happened, what our thoughts are about it. But anybody who's watching, thank you so much. God bless you all. Over now and Skol.